Hi, I'm Bonnie Dixon with Storyvan TV, and I am so excited to share a new friend of mine, Maureen Gaetz-Faubert. And she has gone through a lot in her life. And because she's had quite the journey, she has a story to share with us. Let me just share a few things about her before she starts. She does a heart to heart connecting to your truth, and she is a emotional energy healer, and she's a heal your life coach for any of those Louise Hay fans. She's a teacher in Alberta, Canada, just up the way from where I'm at. Now Maureen has again a story, and we're just going to touch on, Maureen, that amazing story and how you ended up where you are and why you do what you do. And it started off with a rare disorder in her earlier life, and then she had a life-threatening medical emergency that almost took her out. And then this is her journey back to health and understanding the mind body connection. So, welcome, Maureen, today. And we're so glad to have you here. And would you do that honor for us to share your story and where it led you?
Thank you for having me. Absolutely. Goodness, we have a lifetime of stories, and the one that truly impacted my desire to heal my life and knowing that I could was having my near death experience. How I came to that point was that I'd had a bowel perforation, and the doctors had given me 24 hours to live. They proceeded to tell my husband and my very young children at the time. So everybody was saying their goodbyes. And I was on life support. As it happens, I haven't passed. I remained on life support for 2 weeks. And then I was taken off, put into a hospital room on my own. And I was laying there praying, God, take this away. I no longer want to fight to live. Now, those two words are complete polar opposites, fighting and living. At that moment in time, I had a spiritual experience. A spirit appeared in my hospital room. I'm just going to go back a bit. I'm a logistics coordinator, so I lived in my head logic linear thinking, and this spirit appeared in my room. Goodness, I didn't know that that even truly existed, nor did I believe in that realm at that point in my life completely. Yeah, I understood God was there, and I understood that spirit was there. Truly to see it, I didn't believe it till I did. So as I prayed, the spirit put out her hands and said, "Give it to me." And I truly did. I gave it to her. The next morning, the nurse was changing the dressing on my wound. It was open because I was septic. And she looked down and said, "Look how well she's healing." And from that moment forward, I knew, intuitively knew, that healing comes from a multi leveled platform, desire, entity, energy. And I started to pursue how I could finally heal my life after many different physical anomalies, diagnoses, issues, pains, etc. And I decided about 7 years later to finally get my coaching license. And I moved forward and now teach, guide, coach others who want to also heal their life from physical pain, which I found can be caused from emotional stuffing and sticking things into the connective tissue. So what did I do before that? I had been diagnosed at 29 with this very rare disorder. It happened to be a connective tissue disorder. I read a book by Dr. Christian Northrup. Now, I won't be able to quote her directly. Essentially, she said, quit stuffing your emotions in the connective tissue and forever continuing to be ill because of this. I'm paraphrasing, sorry. As soon as I discovered that, I had this huge aha moment and went, oh my goodness, I've been stuffing, sticking, putting emotions in the connective tissue. This is why I've been diagnosed. This is why I've not been well. This is all the whys behind the reason that was and could be ill. Even though I had practiced at that point how to connect to my heart and understand my emotions, I was determined that I was going to work harder to correct that and also teach that to others and have them recognize they can truly heal their life.
Oh my goodness. You have been through a lot in your lifetime, Maureen. To have a rare disorder to, early on in life, and be able to pull through that, and then to again go through sepsis. Oh my goodness. I've had two friends go through that, and like you said, at the brink of death, and come back again. But the learning part is the most fascinating part in chatting with you and talking with you before, and listening to the story again of, we sometimes, as you did, you were listening to your body, you were listening to yourself, and then not allowing the busy brain to say, no, that can't be true. We often discount our intuition, and we will feel feelings and say, well, it can't be true, when indeed it is true. I was as well introduced to Louise Hay way back in the 80s, and was fascinated by her book of healing. And I really appreciate that you're sharing, though, your knowledge. And tell me, how do you work with people one-on-one, or do you do classes? How do you share this information of what you learned?
A combination of all of that, primarily coaching one-on-one, because it is so intimate, and people need to connect to their heart and allow me to connect with their energy so that I may feel and hear what their body is experiencing. Yes, I did put on a workshop called Mind Body Connection, where we had more than one. And I really enjoyed when we had less than 5. Honestly, it was very much more intimate. We could communicate. There was better understanding. So I do love teaching in groups. I also like the opportunity to really explain what I am teaching. And I've also had, a live workshop just before COVID, and then went virtually. So yeah, I coach all over the world. Truly love to watch the transformations.
Yeah, that was my next question. If I know you're up in Alberta, but you are able to connect with, say, someone in Europe, or down in the US, or, Canada is a big place, so connect with people all over. Now, when you teach, what does that look like? What does a session feel like for someone when you're working with them?
Well, because I have that ability to truly feel their energy and hear the words and also the sensations that are on their body, I respectfully ask them if I may connect to their energy, because it is their energy, and allow me to hear what's going on. Most times I can actually feel their bodies, what's going on within their bodies. There's a physical feeling. It may be pain. It may be a sensation if it's in the stomach or the gut. Sometimes there's nausea. Sometimes I even start coughing when their throat is blocked. And we then move down a process of, I teach them how to connect their heart to their body. And there's times that I do have them participate in a meditation, which allows them to just pause in that moment and really understand how to do that connection. And then we move forward into the session, and I show them how to hear the emotional messages in their body, and I share what I hear. And together we create the ability to truly understand the emotions they've stuffed away. If the energies tell me that they need to release these energies, it will express to me what that looks like. There's messages within those emotional energies, and then replacing them with stronger, better beliefs, emotions, looking what's the opposite of mad, sad, or angry, and what's the reason behind that, and letting them go, and then creating something different, stronger, better, much more progressively productive towards healing.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you give us an example, without their name, of course, of someone you were able to help, and what that transformation might have looked like, or felt like, or did for that person?
Oh, goodness. Who would I do this? Let me just connect to that for a moment and find out the safety of that.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
I guess what it is, not guess, I know what it is, that with the majority of my clients, and I don't want to just pick out one, I really
Sure.
just don't want to. It's again that connecting to that heart center, and really truly listening to their body, and sharing with them what's coming through me, and watching their reaction, and just their aha moments, their own personal aha moments, saying, here's what I'm hearing, or here's what I'm seeing, because sometimes I get words, sometimes I get pictures, and of course that feeling in my body. And I guess I can share it with one client. This one client was having some issues in the shoulder, and I happened to be in the room long before COVID there. And I stood up and said, it's right here. And I put my finger right on the spot. And this client said, well, how did you know that? And it's because her body was speaking to me and showed me on my body where the pain was on the shoulder. Just one example. Sometimes I can feel when people are really in their head because they're spinning. You know how when we get stuck in our head, we overanalyze, we catastrophize, and then your head's spinning. And I literally can feel their head spinning and go, okay, let's bring it down. We have to do that mind-body connection and allow them to be able to connect to their body so they can hear their body.
Maureen, so that brings up something, because I have one of those lines goes all over the place. When you're out and about, say shopping or just out in a crowd, do you get feelings from people around you, like an empath? Yeah,
I do. I get those feelings. And, as someone who feels that and is empathic, I definitely have had intense feelings. And I really didn't know where or why they were coming from for many, 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 many years, because we are never taught that. Schools teach us math. They teach us reading. They teach us writing and all the other concepts of head. And they don't teach us that it's okay to feel our feelings. They don't teach us how to put our feelings into words. And they don't teach us that, what? Whether or not we recognize it, we all feel other people's energy. So for me, I've had to sort of block that, not sort of block it, set my own personal boundaries, and only hold on to what I'm feeling and allow that to be there. Interesting, you would ask that too. Many times, years and years and years ago, decades ago, I would hear people talking through their mouth, and I'd be listening, and then I'd be hearing their soul speak to me again.
Oh, wow.
Not recognizing that that's what I was hearing. And so then I would ask them a question about what their soul had said to me, and they'd look at me, they were in shock. They didn't understand where I was coming from. I mean, certainly I was speaking their truth, and I didn't realize why they weren't getting what they were being told that they needed to do, because that's what their soul was telling them to do. So I've learned to step back from that. It's not my business. It's not my place. As naturally as it comes to me, I respectfully don't do that any longer, because now I understand that there are boundaries, and energy connection is one of the boundaries.
That's very profound that you would say that. That's really cool that you. So in a way, it sounds as if you're teaching, sharing, and showing people their own heart to heart, their own intuition, their own realization that they have that power to tap into their heart, to their body, so they can recognize what's going on and not let it maybe get out of control and turn into dis-ease, as Louise Hay used to say.
Yes. Absolutely. It's just a matter of listening and going within. You know, we are typically afraid or unsure of how and what to do. You know, most of us judge our feelings and emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and it scares us to go within because we're afraid of what we're going to find there. And yet it's just
Mm-hmm.
us being in those moments.
Do you find that there's a kind of a certain type of person or age group that is more open to learning um,
You know, I
about?
love that question because it does vary and it has nothing to do with age per
Okay.
se. And I go a little further into that. I
Mm-hmm.
find that I can much more easily connect to an individual's energy when they are very open to healing, to hearing their heart and connecting and feeling safe enough to do so. It's very easy for me to cross that bridge with them and vice versa because they have to cross it with me too. It's not just one way, it's both ways because we collaborate together and hear,
Mm-hmm.
you know, hear their body, hear their disease and emotions that are held there because that's my area of expertise. I must say though that children, and I've had that blessed opportunity to coach children, are so much more open and receptive to receiving guidance, and they respond, I'm telling you, in a snap of a finger. You give them something, they go, oh, got it, and they're done. It's so quick. It's just lovely. So yeah.
That's very wonderful. So if a child's old enough to speak and have a conversation, then you could work with them.
It typically, I choose to not coach under 10.
Okay.
I've been asked by a parent to do so. I asked,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the parent to be part of it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, because I have that ability to connect to their energy, I can speak to them at a level that they can understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally understand. And then would you say that you tend to end up with more women or men or equal amounts, or how does that work?
I would say more women.
Mm-hmm.
I have definitely coached men, more women, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And being up in Alberta, though, I'm sure you have local clients and then you have worldwide clients. And so you would do a Zoom or a phone call or something like that and be working with them that way?
All of that. And you know, the majority of my clients are global. Yes, I have some local ones. And again, with COVID, because I had just started my business maybe just barely under a year before COVID happened. And I was just getting myself out there. My, you know, things were just rolling. My business was becoming more aware. There was more awareness out there.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went global, which is part of my background. Being a logistics coordinator and a licensed customs broker, I have done global connections since I was in my early 20s. So for me, it was a comfortable transition. And again, locally, I've had people come into my healing room,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also been able to coach on the phone because energy is a true connection. It has nothing to do with being with somebody face to face or even, you know, thousands of miles away. If you're willing to connect with me and allow me to hear your heart and your soul energy, then it's easily done.
Wow. And so have you um, written a book? I think I heard something about an ebook.
I definitely created the ebook. It's a very short ebook on the mind body connection, and it guides individuals who download it how to connect to their head, their heart, which is my company, Head to Heart, and then to their gut. And they are guided to understand how the head, heart, and gut communicate. And the gut and the heart communicate more to the brain than in reverse. And it's done through that neural network and the microbiome, which is a really important part of how our body
Mhm.
functions. I also have written hundreds of blogs, and my goal is to put them into books someday. I'm just not exactly sure how to make that happen at this moment.
But meanwhile, if you're, let's see, we can go to your website here and share with people. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. I'll view the tab here. We can go here. So you have your home. you have the blog, and if they want to, they could even just click on one of these blogs and read more. It looks
Mm-hmm.
like. So there's many, as you said, and they're all going to be chock full of some information. The body care guide. This looks interesting. Be loving to your negativities. I like that one. So this looks very fun. Just this is something that you could take advantage of, everyone, of learning. Maureen is sharing her gifts with us right here. And then I love this part, everyone. Read her entire story. Read Maureen's story. It is just I don't know, it just feels like a movie should be made, Maureen, about your story. So go there and read her story in depth here. And then you can connect with Maureen just by hitting the connect button and come down here, and she'd love to connect with you on a deeper level. I love this. But here's where you can connect and receive this amazing free ebook on the mind body connection. I'm someone that always says if a gift is offered, take it and learn from it. And this is a gift for you all today to take and use for yourself and then share with others. So, and then let's see, Maureen, was there a place on here about your upcoming?
Go back to the home page.
Let's go to home
and scroll down.
Scroll down gently. So there we go. Oh yeah, you can get your ebook here. Oh, look at quieting your thoughts. Look at this coming up. This is a free Zoom. Oh my goodness. Everyone, put this on your calendar right now. Tuesday, January 9th, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That'd be 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yes.
Or it'd be 8 p.m. Eastern. So it's very doable for everyone. And tell us just a little bit about this workshop that's coming up, Maureen.
Thank you. Yes, I'll be co-hosting 12 workshops starting in January of next year to December of next year, so 2024. And I'm co-hosting with Tracy Gazelle. She is a registered psychologist, and her and I are collaborating and working together to bring you 12 separate workshops. The first 2 are free. We see here that it's quieting your thoughts. Tracy will be guiding that. I'm looking forward to hearing what she teaches me and you. And then the one in February is another free workshop, and it's called Power of Words, because our words all have energies and they contain tones and vibrations. And as we speak them, we hear them, we feel them. Everybody feels them, and especially our body and our mind. And then there will be 9 more. I think 9 more.
Wow, that's exciting. I'm telling you, that is so exciting. Well, today we have learned a lot of things, and there's more to learn. And if you're dealing with something that might seem insurmountable or is so different than everyone else, or you're just dealing with something that is a bit overwhelming, Maureen would be a great person to connect with and find out more about you. That's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn more about yourself. And to take the time to do that will not only benefit yourself, but your family and your friends, your workplace. It will benefit and ripple out everywhere, I tell you.
You know, I would like to mention that too. And thank you so much for talking about how I can help them. Being an individual who was diagnosed with this rare connective tissue disorder, genetic, told that I was born with it, that I'd have to live with it for the rest of my life, desperately looking for that treatment, the cure, support, all of that, and realizing, you know, that's just not going to work, especially after my near-death experience, and knowing that there is healing on so many different levels, that I decided I was determined to learn coping skills, emotional coping skills. So if you are living with a chronic disorder, disease, and you're physically unwell and you do desire some coping skills, I'm happy to have that conversation with you. You may not necessarily be able to cure it. However, what you will learn is how to cope with it on an emotional level. Because when we're physically unwell, our emotions are also unwell. And I will help you connect to those emotions that you can look at, understand, and then release and allow your body to feel much more at peace and quiet.
Oh, that touches my heart. I have two people in mind already. The introduction to you is going to be profound for them. I know it. Change their life for good, you know. It's just been such a blessing to meet you. I look forward, of course, we're going to stay in touch, maybe do collaborations as well. The main thing is you're not alone, and there are people like Maureen out here waiting to help you. You don't have to suffer, is what I'm saying. Do not do that. Make sure to, at least if nothing else, reach out and get that download her ebook, and then consider having a conversation with Maureen. And Maureen, we're so happy to have you here today and share all you know. And I know this last 5 weeks of the year is coming through, and then it'll just be right into January, and we can start this wonderful new collaboration that you're doing and to help everyone again. So thank you so much for coming on today, and we look forward to our next time we chat.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity.
Thanks so much.